Hey everybody, Jeremy with Detroit Tech, and this video has been in the making for over 2 years. It all started when I got engaged. I figured it was time to get my fiance, now wife, onto the same phone plan as me. I was on T-Mobile and had a pretty good deal. I had unlimited data, something with texts and voice, I don't know. Anyway, it was all about $55 a month, depending on the taxes and the weird charges that month. Well, T-Mobile said that that was an old plan, and for me to keep what I wanted, the unlimited data, and add my fiance to the plan with her getting 10 gigabytes a month, it ended up costing about $180 every month. After dealing with this for a few months, Google announced Project Fi. Besides enjoying trying out all the stuff Google puts out, Google Wave, woohoo! Paying what I once had for my plan before did sound pretty sweet. So here I am, 2 years later, and still rocking Project Fi. First off, what is Project Fi? Well, it's a move made by Google in 2014 to get into the wireless provider game. Targeting the big four in that space, Fi offers a cheaper alternative. They utilize multiple cell tower networks, originally T-Mobile and Sprint. They did add US Cellular recently, however. The program also uses Wi-Fi networks to make the calls. The special SIM card you get is able to authenticate on all the tower networks, and it switches on the fly to whatever gives you the best speed at that time. The tricksy part is they added a Wi-Fi assistant to your phone to connect you to any and all open wireless networks you come across. This usually manifests itself in places like Starbucks and the like. But that doesn't really help me if all my data is out there just on some random unprotected network. The good news is the assistant also encrypts your connection, so your data is private while you're on that public network. You know when you're running on one of those networks because there will be a little key icon in your notification bar. And you can turn this off in the settings if you don't want to automatically connect to every open Wi-Fi network out there. It comes with a pretty cool app as well. It's pretty clean overall, gives you access to the support team via email, chat, or phone. It allows you to check your daily usage of data and also look at all of your past billing cycles. You can take a look at your voicemail, block numbers, and a bunch of other settings. It's simple, clean, and it's very helpful. Speaking of voicemail, Project Fi is nice enough to transcribe your voicemails for you. It's definitely not perfect. If you're talking too fast, it obviously just doesn't work that well. But everything Google has been doing with voice recognition, Google Home, whatever, has really paid some dividends. I rarely listen to my voicemails anymore. And really, unless someone is talking very fast, enunciates worse than I do, I really get a good idea of what they were calling, why they were calling, and whether or not I actually need to or want to call them back. The texting works seamlessly with Google Hangouts, RIP. This allows me to flawlessly switch in between actual SMS and regular Hangouts messages, depending on who I'm talking to, or if I just need to switch midstream. There's just a simple little button in the corner to switch back and forth. Perfect. Now, all this cool technology and network switching is not what got me to switch over. It was really all about the price. So what's the deal there? It's a prepaid plan for $20 a month for unlimited talk and text, and then it's $10 per gigabyte after that. The cool part is they actually reimburse you for the data you don't use. So I pay $20 and then I pay for 2 gigabytes every month. After some practice, it took me a little bit getting used to, I can use around only about a gigabyte a month or even a bit less, and the next billing cycle, the data I didn't use gets credited back to me on my bill, $1 for every 100 megabytes. So even while paying for my phone and the plan, I'm really only paying about $55 or so. Now, immediately, I know I just lost some people. If they're paying $10 per gigabyte, they'll be paying over $300 every month, no problem. And yes, it did take a little bit of getting used to, but instead of streaming all my music from Google Play, like I did before, I just downloaded a bunch of it onto my phone and it was completely fine. I basically ended up spending 5 minutes or so skipping through songs until I actually found something I wanted to listen to anyway. There is a caveat to this, and it's a pretty big one. As the recording of this video, there are only 5 phones that have the necessary hardware to work on this network. There's the Nexus 6, the Nexus 5X, the Nexus 6P, the Google Pixel, and the Pixel XL. When Google first announced Project Fi, I was already aiming to get the Nexus 6, so it wasn't really a big step for me. And I've had multiple Nexus phones before and even upgraded to the Nexus 6P when it came out. But for those people that love the Samsung phone, and there are definitely a lot of you out there, this is obviously just not the plan for you, for sure. Now let's switch gears to the actual service. All the cool tech, cheap plans, right, it's great, but it does not mean much if the service sucks. And I can't make any phone calls or mobile data everywhere just is terrible. The service has overall actually been pretty great. The T-Mobile and Sprint networks here in Detroit have been great for a few years now, and since they added US Cellular, well, I still haven't had any issues. There were a few months when I would be on my phone with my wife on my way home, and I would just lose the audio for about 6 seconds or so. Really, neither of us would hear each other, but then it would come back on and it would be fine. We could hear each other perfectly. But it did happen at the same place every time on the freeway, and I was on a tunnel under some buildings, so that may have been it as well. But it hasn't been an issue in about 10, 11 months now, so I can't really complain about that. The Wi-Fi assistant works as advertised and is one of the ways I've been able to use so little data. There are a lot of open networks out there, and I would not really have thought about connecting to any of them except for the fact that now I have the encryption. When they first announced Fi, it was invite only. It took me almost 3 months desperately waiting to get that invite. Later that year, 2014, they opened it up. I immediately grabbed another Nexus 6P for my wife and dropped that $100 T-Mobile bill for another one about half the price. So overall, for 2 networks, for 2 plans, we're still only paying the same amount as with one phone on T-Mobile. When I first signed up, I received a gift box in the mail. There was a SIM card, of course, I needed that, a case for the Nexus 6, and even a portable charger in Project Fi colors, which are white, green, yellow, and blue. Not full Google, but close. For Christmas that year, both my wife and I received a Christmas gift from Project Fi in the form of Legos. Not actual Legos, but building blocks. Each individual knob even had a little Fi on it. It's actually pretty cool. So on to the conclusion. Project Fi came out with quite a bit of fanfare in the nerd community. Google trying something else new. And of course, I jumped on the bandwagon, and I haven't even looked back at all. Not like with Wave. I love the service that's provided. I can email questions I have right from the app on my phone to the service, and they even came out with a group plan. The whole thing really is great. But is it right for everyone? No. Corey, behind the camera there, he uses upwards of 8 gigabytes a month at times. He doesn't need to pay that much money because he's on a family plan. And he carries Samsung phones usually as well. So this is not for him. But if you're looking for something off the beaten path, just a way to save a little but still have that premium phone and not be on a contract, this may be for you. And sometimes it's even a game to see how little data I can use at any given month. They may not have the phone selection, but I think Google got it right. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. If you hated it, hit that thumbs down. Either way, let me know in the comments below if I'm missing out with a different carrier, and we'll see you in the next video.